Previously, on our last lesson, we began a new unit on North Africa, which includes Egypt. Before we begin, consider this warm-up question. Do you think science is justified in digging up dead bodies or mummies for research? This is a debatable question, as people have been disturbing graves for centuries in order to learn about the people who died long ago. Some say we should leave them be, while others claim we wouldn't learn without physical evidence. Today's lesson is what ancient Egypt was like. The ancient civilization in Egypt was settled along the Nile River almost 5,000 years ago. It lasted a long time, but eventually collapsed a few decades before Jesus was born in the nearby Middle East. The Egyptians had a caste system similar to the Indians, with royal or religious figures at the top, with a series of lesser levels of people to the bottom. The majority of Egyptians spent their time farming to support a growing population, which was not easy in the harsh desert. But because of the important Nile River, they had a water source. The society was one of the most advanced of the time period. Egyptians were polytheistic, which means that they worshipped many gods, not just one. These gods were depicted with animal heads on human bodies, and each had a specific name and area to rule. Some of the most well-known are Osiris, Isis, Horus, Ra, and Anubis. The leaders of ancient Egypt were called pharaohs. They were supreme rulers, and this was a monarchy. The ruling families gave the throne to their children in succession order, as each one became incapacitated or died. They also practiced incest by reproducing with close family members, like parents or siblings and others, in order to make their blood pure and reduce the chances of an outsider claiming they should be pharaoh. But this close incest was detrimental to their health because the genes were not diverse. The chart shown here is a family tree of King Tut. Although he may be the most famous pharaoh, it is because his pyramid grave was undisturbed with expensive items. His actual reign was not that successful because of his serious health problems from incest. If you click the image from Google Slides, you can see X-ray scans of the family bodies with some of their deformities. The two people at the top were married and produced a daughter. That daughter married and produced two children, a son and a daughter. Those siblings married each other and produced King Tut. We suspect King Tut reproduced with his half-sister, but he did not have any surviving children. There were two deformed fetuses in his pyramid, indicating that Tut's genes were defective from incest. King Tut himself only lived to age 19 and suffered from uneven leg length, misshapen hips, a cleft palate, club foot, and possibly parasites. When important Egyptian people died, their bodies were buried in specific locations called pyramids. They believed in an afterlife, another life cycle after you died, and that you would need all the same possessions with you. So they buried body organs, pets, jewelry, furniture, etc. Many of these tombs were robbed over the years, and some were carefully searched by archaeologists to study for museums. Mummification was the process in which a dead body was drained of fluids. Some organs were removed to be put in jars in the pyramid, and fine clothing was put on the bodies. The Egyptians were so successful at preserving bodies from moisture and decay that some of the mummies still have hair and fingernails hundreds or thousands of years after death. Some of these were well-preserved mummies, and they're on display at museums around the world. Your assignment today is to watch the BrainPop video on Egyptian pharaohs and complete the Google form quiz. Remember, I'll take your best score for this assignment, and you can rewatch the video as many times as needed to help you with the quiz. Both links are posted in Google Classroom.